Hi, friends. It's Joni with Three Feathers Spiritual Wisdom, here with your weekly message from Spirit for the week of March 7th through the 13th of 2022. I hope you're having a wonderful month. I want to thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting. This week, we are using the Vision Quest Tarot for our weekly message. And you get to pick your own oracle card message from the Illuminated Earth Oracle. Okay, are you ready? Oh, in terms of picking, do you want the message from card A, B, or C? Tap into your intuition, ask your guide, and be led to pick one of those. Okay, the first card out for the main message was the Three of Fire. Integrity is the word at the bottom. But what I've gotten from this is that you really need to, and this is a beautiful card. I love the colors on it. You need to accept yourself. Accept accept all parts of yourself. Okay? Have it and one of the things that we hate to do is admit that we're not perfect. We're not perfectly good. Sometimes we fib, sometimes we cheat, sometimes we cut in line. We do these things because we're human, but then we don't really want to look at ourselves in that way. And we tell ourselves, you know, um, we deny those things, okay? And what I'm getting from this is you need to accept all of you, all right? And not only that, you need to understand that everything that you need or want um, will come in its own time. You have to trust that you are an abundant person and that you will be an abundant person, that all your needs will be met. It's a tall order. I know. I know. I struggle with this myself. But it's about knowing that your ships will come in and trusting that spirit will provide for you and accept all parts of yourself. The second card that came out was the Seven of Water. And while the word below at the bottom of the deck, or excuse me, bottom of the card says excess, that's not what I'm getting off of this card. It is more about um it's it goes back to this card in terms of how we lie to ourselves about certain parts of us ourselves and the way we are, the way we behave, or even the way we think. Um, and so this is really about we haven't we haven't been fair to ourselves. We have been self-deceptive, maybe self-sabotage. Some of these bowls are up, turned over, and all the water is cascading out. One is broken, water's coming out. The two at the top are still intact. So what I'm getting in essence from these two cards is that we need to continue to examine the light and the dark or the shadow in ourselves and accept. We have to work to accept that within ourselves. And I'm saying that because the next card that came out represents work as well. And it is the Eight of Earth. Now, normally this would truly mean you're working your job, you're making your money. But in light of the cards that came before, and the phrase at the bottom of the card says inner order. So we are looking at this. Maybe something happens this week that brings this to the surface. which is not a bad thing. We need to bring those things to the light. We need to bring our shadow to the light so we see it, we love it, we heal it. That's the hard part, is we need to love our shadow. Well, this inner order or inner work is something we may all, and maybe you know what I'm talking about, and you are working on it. I know I'm working on my own, and it's hard. This is a hard thing to do, but there's the energy here, or something happens, we're working on it. Okay? And I know we are because Spirit has sent us the Ace of air. And air, again, is the element that rules or represents how we think, what we're thinking, the ideas that we get, the way we communicate. We have an ace here. An ace is a new beginning, a spark of a new idea. Um, and this goes really well with the astrology feature of the week, which I will do at the end of this reading. It's real quick. There's only one thing. There's not much happening astrologically this week, but there is one thing, and I think it's connected to this card. So we get ideas. We're gonna get ideas, maybe, and I believe it's from our own mind, our own intuition, a message. Because the last card that came out was the Eight of Fire. Spirit's going to send us a message. Fire is the element connected to spirit. And the word at the bottom of the card is insight. So this idea that we get is going to give us insight that will help us with putting things in order in ourselves and healing or seeing and accepting the shadow and this and our self-deceptions that we put on ourselves. So we're going to have an aha moment this week, which would be awesome, wouldn't it? I would love that. So think about that. See how that sits with you. Let's move on to your cards, and hopefully, I will remember to mention the astrology at the end. So, did you pick A, B, or C? If you picked A, you got the card of vulnerability. I want you to look carefully at that. The word at the bottom is vulnerability. And what I'm getting from this, there is a flower here, and this to me looks like a butterfly. But if you see something different, good. You take that as your message too. Now, what I want to say about this is these new ideas that are coming to us, or even looking at ourselves in our shadow, leaves us vulnerable. So there's a vulnerability happening for you this week, but it's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to open yourself up to others, to looking at things about yourself that you may not want to look at, or, being vulnerable to another person. It's okay. You will, that's the risk we have to take sometimes. But it's important to do so because that's how we grow. Okay, for those of you who picked B, you got the moon. And the moon for me here is deeply feminine traits. Intuition may be triggered this week. You may be having dreams at night that are messages, or the new moon that was last week, whatever it is that you set your intentions for, is something you will be working on through the next phase until the next new moon. So that's your card and message. For those of you who picked C, this is an interesting card. It's kind of dark here. And there's two things that I saw in this. The word at the bottom is retreat. For me, This is the darkness of a cave or the darkness of the universe. Because at first, when I look at this card, I thought I was in a cave, and here's the opening of the cave where there's light way off into the distance. And then when I looked at it again, I thought, no, maybe this is the universe, and there's Earth. Whichever it is, and you can take whichever one resonates with you. What I really feel this means is you need to take care of yourself this week. You need to have some downtime or me time where you retreat from the world or you retreat from others and take care of yourself. You need some contemplation time. You need to rejuvenate. So make sure you take some time for you. Okay. Before I sign off, I want to quickly say the astrological aspect for this week that is of interest. There isn't much going on. It's not like last week where I had to do a separate long video about all the conjunctions and Venus and Mars and the new moon. This week from March 7th to the 13th is pretty darn quiet. The main thing that I want to talk about is that Mercury, on March 9th, Mercury will move into Pisces. And Mercury is going to join the Sun, which is in Pisces. Neptune, which rules Pisces, is in Pisces. And Jupiter, which is in Pisces. So Mercury will become the fourth planet in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is definitely lit up until the sun moves into Aries later this month. What this means is Mercury rules how we think. Here's an opportunity. Pisces is that dreamy state, dreamy sign. It is very much a spiritual sign. In my belief system is that spirituality and creativity are two sides of the same coin. So you could be getting a great deal of ideas this week, or things that come to you that give you insight. And they could be imaginative, creative, intuitive. So this is a great, it's not logical and it won't be logical. One of the things I suggest that you do is whatever you do get, write it down in a journal or something. Write those ideas down because it is not the time to start them. You need to wait until Mercury is in the next sign in Aries, and then you can start putting the ideas and planting them on the ground, because Pisces is very ungrounded, and it's okay if you need that period of time where your imagination is kicked up, your intuition is kicked up, the creativity is coming through. I like periods like that. It's like a brainstorming session. So that's probably what's going to happen. I hope you take advantage of that energy, and I want to wish you many blessings for the coming week. Take care now. Bye bye.